Hi, everybody. This is Kate. I am talking today about 5 of my favorite digestive supplements. Just a quick 5 of my favorites that I find that I'm using a ton right now. So here we go. Okay, the first, bitters. You all know I love bitters. It's one of my first interventions that I do with most people. Now, I am not an herbalist, and so the particulars and herbalists may have other bitters that they prefer. These are 2 of my faves. There's many of them. Bitters, as you all know, improve parasympathetic nervous system innervation. They enhance digestion, improve HCl production and gallbladder secretions. They also improve the tone of the lower esophageal sphincter. I use these for reflux, for when people describe proteins like sitting heavy in their stomach, people who skip breakfast or don't get hungry until later on, do it to kind of stimulate their appetite. People that have fullness after meals. I will use low dose bitters when people have gallstones, if they have a history of that. Just be mindful, you will not want to use a very powerful bitter. I love Urban Moonshine. These are super gentle. And I love Quicksilver. They have a few BittersX, Bitters number 9. Love them both. The BittersX is a bit more powerful than their other bitter formula. And how I use these, I'll usually do a dropper, or if the Quicksilver, a pump or 2 in water or directly in the mouth 10 minutes prior to a meal. If someone forgets, they can certainly take it in the middle of the meal or at the end of the meal. I will also dose bitters outside of meals. If somebody has like an upset stomach or a sour stomach, I usually will use bitters then. Next is glutamine. What nutritionist does not love glutamine? We all know all the amazing benefits of glutamine: supports tight junctions, the structure, function, and growth of epithelial cells, reduces inflammation, immune regulation. I use this in my leaky gut protocols for SIBO clients, inflammatory bowel disease, food allergies, autoimmune conditions, gut stuff, all that gut inflammation, dysregulation stuff. I will use standalone glutamine. I also love these formulas. They're all a little bit different. Some glutamine-based formulas are more supportive for upper GI. Others are for lower GI. Like Interamend, that's a much more lower GI product. It's got glutamine, aloe, guar gum, boswellia, and curcumin phytosome. It's an awesome product. I think it's totally underutilized. GI Revive, great product, kind of has everything under the kitchen sink: anti-inflammatory stuff, mucilaginous herbs, glutamine. The research suggests like 10 grams of glutamine. I typically don't go that high. I'll dose like a scoop in the morning, a scoop in the evening, a scoop in the middle of the day if needed. If it's an upper GI formula, I'm trying to dampen down some of those reflux or burning sensations, so I'll use it more frequently. While we're doing some other digestive support or dietary interventions, then I'll back off to just using it once a day or as needed. Prebiotic powders, I love these right now. I am all about some prebiotic powders. Now, this is not a conversation about dietary interventions. Obviously, there's plenty to do around fiber and resistant starches through dietary consumption, but strictly talking about supplements in this moment. So prebiotic fibers enhance short-chain fatty acid production, improve blood sugar regulation, reduce hunger, and promote satiety. They promote a healthy ecosystem. I use these for dysbiosis, blood sugar dysregulation, post-antibiotic use in conjunction with probiotics. I will also use these fibers when people have been on a low FODMAP diet for a very long time. I find that if I can get these fibers into them, I can expand their dietary tolerance of FODMAP foods that they have previously eliminated by using these powders. I might use individual powders like inulin or guar gum, sun fiber I love. or psyllium husk fiber. I'll use a lot of these things when I'm trying to just kind of see what someone's tolerance is. If I know that they can tolerate, I'll use either one of these paleo fiber resistant starch blend or pure lean fiber. And how I use them is one scoop. So if somebody's sensitive, I will start very, very small, quarter teaspoon, maybe even less than that, and I'll inch them up. I love to put these fibers into polyphenols or juice. You all are familiar with the brand Lakewood. I use that brand a lot. I'll do like an ounce of pomegranate or blueberry or cranberry juice and a scoop of this powder, however big the scoop is. Each day, maybe in the morning, maybe with breakfast. Polyphenols, prebiotic fibers are in a very, very happy marriage. And both of those things really change the terrain of the gut. So I like to use them in combination. Probiotics, everybody loves a good probiotic. We all know what they do, how they support people. I will use probiotics for everyone and most everyone, and then sometimes I won't use them at all, and I will try and support the gut microbiome through, obviously through dietary interventions, but through using things like polyphenols, fibers, resistant starches, so I can start to see someone's tolerance in their gut or build tolerance in their gut. Not everybody responds well to using probiotics, and not all probiotics colonize, which is ultimately what we want in order to change the ecosystem of the gut. These are a few that I reach for a lot, but I use many of them. I like to use them in combination. I do a lot of stool testing in my practice, and so I can see maybe some strains that people are missing, and I will reach for probiotics that might have those. As part of TNHC, you guys can use Probiotic Advisor or Probiotic Advisor. It's a really lovely way of researching different strains and their application. These are a few, again, that I like. Therabiotic, Symbiotic is something I'm reaching for a lot. This is probiotic plus sun fiber. As I just mentioned, I love using those fibers. Megaspore Biotic, I like to use combinations of spore-based and non-spore-based. Just, again, always trying to influence the terrain, the ecosystem of someone's gut. There's also, I work with a lot of people that have mast cell and histamine intolerance. And so I will use histamine degrading strains or probiotics, like both of these at the bottom, Bifido Maximus and Probiota Histamine X. The Gut Institute, Dr. Grace Liu is amazing. I encourage you all to listen to her talks about probiotics, about species, about strains. It's where I'm heavily influenced by a lot of her research and what she talks about in terms of how to use certain products in combination, what specific strains do, how do you colonize, how do you really change the ecosystem. And then lastly on my list is maybe a wild card, but ginger. I love using ginger. Ginger is so amazing. Certainly, I'm always promoting the use of eating dietary ginger powder or root, but utilizing it in supplement form is also something I reach for a lot if people are averse to having it, to consuming it in food form. So ginger increases bifidobacterium. It promotes diverse beneficial bacteria, impacts obesity. It's essentially it's a polyphenol, right? That's why we're taking it, for all those like benefits of polyphenols and prebiotics. Helps with sluggish motility, constipation, gastritis. It's got antimicrobial properties. It's anti-inflammatory. So it hits a lot of areas. It touches a lot of areas that I'm always trying to affect in someone's gut. Can I increase their digestive capacity? Can I reduce inflammation? Is there some sort of antimicrobial property I can get into them? And can I impact the gut microbiome? So I love ginger. I use these two often, ginger extract, 500 milligrams of ginger, or Motopro in the serving size, which I think is 3. It's 1,000 milligrams of ginger. So just depending on what someone's needs are, I use this a lot. If somebody has reflux, I'll use this often at night for them. If their bowels are sluggish, I'll use it at night for them, with them. Yeah, I love, love, love ginger. In terms of dosing, MotoPro, I'll work them up to the three caps. Ginger extract, I usually start with one, increase over maybe a week or so, 2 weeks. Again, this is all dependent on how sensitive the person is or how many things that they are already taking. So I always take those two things into consideration when I'm dosing. I always start low and I work my way up. It's way easier to work up than it is to have a reaction with a bigger dose and have to take 10 steps back. So low and slow for all of these. Play around with some of these products. These are a few of my favorites. I hope this was helpful. See ya.